is Saturday night at 7 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started with the video here. Let me go ahead and just do a refresh off to the left to be sure that I'm actually doing something, not just talking to dead air, because that's never fun. All right, it looks like we are in business. Alrighty then. Hey Karen, hi Marva, hi Rocky, Rosie, appreciate y'all coming. And Susan, thank you for coming from Florida. So this is our card today, and I don't know about you, but it is we are solid in the dog days of summer here. It is hotter than it can be, and it's nasty. It's just nasty outside. So this is a breath of fresh air as we look to cooler weather. This is the new Delicate Pines bundle, and it's only got 3 sentiments, but it's gonna cover Christmas or even just winter, all right? But it has wonderful die cuts, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun with them because they cut out quite a few images in the coordinating DSP. Now, these are online exclusives. They'll be available on the 3rd of September when the new release comes down. That'll be at the same time that the new mini catalog goes live. So 3 September, very close. It's like 2 weeks. That's like 2 weeks away, y'all, which means let's go. And here is our card. I've done a couple of different die cuts. I've got some pine boughs and I've got some pine cones, and I've got 2 DSP cut snowflakes, and then on the inside I did a little bit of stamping with no inside sentiment and a little bit of DSP on the envelope flap. So this will all be on my blog Tamale, and let's go ahead and get started. So I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of crumb cake cardstock. And what I'm going to start with is there's several different snowflake images. Now, what's cool about the snowflakes in this set, I'm not sure if you caught that. The snowflakes are made out of pine boughs. So, you know me, pine boughs, pine cones, I'm in. So you have an actual pine bough image, which you can cut with one of the dies. But each of the snowflakes is actually fashioned from pine boughs. So I just think that is the coolest of cool. Rocky 76 and raining. Don't rub that in. That's not nice. Not nice at all. Not nice. I'm just saying. So I'm going to stamp a couple of those. Let me get a couple of them back out here so I can make sure I'm ready to roll. I thought I had them all done. Okay, so I've got these 2 and then this small one. Okay. And I am going to stamp them in crumb cake ink. And I'm going to kind of do them across in a diagonal, okay? There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to it. In fact, there's neither rhyme nor reason. I kind of got a little more congested down towards this end because I wanted to be sure that it was all going to show outside of my, around my large die cut. So now I'm going to switch to this one, and we're just get it all over my finger, which is a surefire bet that I will stick it right somewhere I didn't want it. All right, so we're just doing this 5 or 12 dozen times, like so. And let's see, I think I'll do one more right there. Okay, and then I've got this little tiny one. Can you see him on the back side of my acrylic block? I'm gonna put him a few times just because he's cute. He's just as cute as he can be. He's just as cute as a little snowflake button. Little snowflake button. Hot and humid in Wisconsin. Yeah, I am certain of that. It is that time of year. I know we will make it through this, but dang, it's getting to be tiresome. Okay, I'm going to call that good for right now. We might add some more later. I don't know. And I'm going to set this aside. And then let's look at the things that I have die cut. Now, this piece of the DSP is what has given me my large snowflake. It was this one. Obviously, it was one that was more in the center of the paper. And then I also cut out this smaller one right here. Okay, so we're going to use those. And then I have used a couple of the pine boughs. Now I called this the large bough and these the small boughs. So I cut 3 of these and 3 of these. This is nice because you just have to run through once because they gave you 3 dies. But the others you have to do 3 times. So this is what you end up with. 1, 2, and 3, like so. Oh, turn that the other way. And then you have these here. And we're going to start doing a little bit of layering to make our pretty snowflake. Hey, Cindy, appreciate you coming. Yeah, Bonnie, I am way ready for fall. I am very ready to be complaining about being cold because that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to go from complaining about being hot to complaining about being cold in about the space of a week. I'm quite certain of it. All right, just getting all my little chads out to be sure I don't leave any in there. And what I did here is I just used a little drop of liquid glue and then just adhered those centers together like that. All right, and what you're trying to do is make a circle of pine boughs. Pretty straightforward, right? Just like that. Okay. Now the next piece is to adhere our large snowflake, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to put him right there like so. And at whatever point you like, you can go ahead and start dry fitting on your card front and making sure, here's where I'm kind of making sure I have enough snowflakes stamped, enough to make myself happy. Oh, well, Mary Catherine, I'm not going to tell you that your humidity isn't bad in Texas, but I am going to tell you that the humidity can be pretty bad here in Colorado. What? Wait, I am not in Colorado. My goodness. Been dealing with the real estate going on there, so I have it on my brain. Sorry. All right, that was all I needed. It was probably a little bit of silliness. Okay, now, here's how we're going to make our next set of boughs. I've got these 3 that I have here, and what I am going to do is cut each of these in half so that I have 6 short boughs, like this. Okay. And then I'm going to adhere each one to this large snowflake, like so. And this is what I'm doing. I am putting it on the long arm, and I'm putting it up to about there. And I'll just kind of do that equally all the way around. That just gets another little layer of the die cutting going without adding a whole bunch of extra, oh wait, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, thickness. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I know people are getting worried about spending a lot of money on thickness. Now, I'm just going to tell you, this one is probably not going to be your thinnest, but it may not be your thickest either. So, I am making no promises about whether it will take one stamp or 2. I confess I tend to buy mostly 2-ounce stamps. And sometimes I kind of overcompensate because I don't want them to come back. You know, I'm really worried about them coming back. But for the most part, as long as they're 9/10 of an ounce or an ounce, and you can kind of bend them like that, usually you can get away. Hey, Rosie, that is actually the motto of the Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, to teach people to craft and be a great enabler. Yes, that is my motto. All right, now we're going to take this last little guy and we're going to put him on with some dimensionals. Okay. Whew. Having a tiny power surge right now. We went out, we didn't get the hay done today, but we did open up what she's got left so that she can maybe clean it up a little bit for us. Okay, so we got that on. And if you'll notice, this little snowflake is about the same as the middle snowflake on the large image. So this snowflake right here kind of lines up almost perfectly with the center snowflake there. Did that make sense at all, what I just said? Probably not. Okay, so now we're going to put some adhesive on here. Non-machinable stamps is probably a good bet. Yep. And we'll just put some liquid glue on there and adhere it to our card front. Now, the card base is also going to be crumb cake. So you can do this, and then you can do kind of a fit so that you know that you're not going over the edge of the card base. Okay, because you don't want it to stick off the edge of the card base. You do not want that to happen. All right, now that can sit for just a minute, and while that is doing that, I'm going to put together my my piney cones. Now, are these pine cones not amazing? I've used some of the new earthen toned metallic specialty paper. That's coming soon too. And then I have cut 5 of those with the detailed die. There's 2 pine cone dies. Got a solid die and a detailed die. So I've cut 5 of each. The solid die is crumb cake, and then the detailed die is that metallic. It is crumb cake ink on crumb cake cardstock. Yes, it is. So I'm just going to use little bitty bits of liquid glue. Now, if you're one of those people who think about adhesive sheets before you've already cut 5 out, then you could certainly use those. But you know me, I tend to forget them until I've cut 5 or 6 out, and then I say, yep, to heck with it, I'm not messing with it. Because that's just kind of how I am. I tend to forget stuff until it's too late. There you go. So I just kind of very lightly squeeze my bottle, like hardly at all, and just run it lightly over that surface, and then stick it down, and it will do its thing. It will do its liquid glue thing. It's your thing. Do what you want to do. Now, I know for certain sure I cut 5 of those pine cones. Well, 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 well. Let's see. Maybe I got them stuck together. That's possible. Oh, where'd you go? It's your thing. Do what you want to do. All right, let's see. Where are you? Pine cone number 5. Number 5 alive. Number 5 alive. Okay. Well, I may have to go and cut one more. I believe I have a gremlin. I know I have a skink. We have a skink in the living room somewhere, and that little booger, he'll come out, and then Wayne tries to catch him so we can put him back outside, and he runs under something. And I'll tell you what, he's going to be very, very sad if Miss Little Bugger finds him, because she will, well, she will be the end of his life, I can assure you. Okay, let me get one more crumb cake cut out here, and then I will be right back. I'll be right back. You know when I'll find that one, don't you? It's right after we get done here. I'll be like, oh yes, there it was. I found it. There it was. That'll be happening right after y'all hang up. That's all right. You can never have too many pine cones, I don't think. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We had a bit of a movie day today because we were lazy and it was too hot to go outside and do anything. So first we watched The Martian with Matt Damon, a classic, awesome. Then we watched, the one about the oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico, Horizon, whatever that one was, with Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, are you seeing a trend here? Yeah, we were looking, I was picking based on, you know, main characters. Wayne was maybe possibly looking at, you know, storyline. And then we just got done with the Sully story about Sully Sullenberger. Talk about a hoss. Okay, now we have our pine cones ready. Now we are going to make our sentiment. I'm going to make it on a piece of crumb cake cardstock, and I am going to first give it a rub-a-dub. I know, I love Mark Wahlberg too. And I really like Matt Damon. Boy, he grew up real good. Just saying, real good. Okay, so let me get my doohickeys out here. I rubbed that piece of crumb cake cardstock with Deepwater Horizon, there it is, with my embossing buddy, and now I'm going to stamp this sentiment in Versamark ink, and my I've cut the piece longer than I need, and then I will trim it down once I get the sentiment done. But it's a little easier to hold it if you've got a little more. And then we'll sprinkle it with some copper embossing powder from the Wow Metallics embossing powder. Okay, that looks like I got good coverage and I don't have a bunch of excess sitting around. Oh, We Bought a Zoo was a great movie. It was such a good movie. I really, really liked that. Little tip, when you're using the Versamark, I like to scrub it off of my stamps right away. It can be a little sticky. All right, now let me see if I can get my heat tool over here. It's going to get a little loud, possibly. We're going to use the number 2 setting and just hold it in place so that you can let it start to warm up. And then you will see the magic happen. Hello, Kim from Golden, Colorado, right down below where my mom lives. All right, here we go. I'm gonna grab that with this. Wait a minute. There we go. You can see it starting to turn color. I did the first iteration. I did this on pecan pie. And I liked the contrast with the rest of the card, but I just couldn't see the sentiment as much as I wanted to. So I fixed it. All right. Now, when you do embossing, heat embossing, you got to give that a hot second so that it will cool off and solidify. While it's still hot, it tends to be a little smushery. And then I'm just going to cut this down to about 2 inches. If it's not exactly 2 inches, it isn't going to matter, y'all. Just saying. Okay. Now, we're ready for that. And now I'm going to make one little bow. I've got some of the new Early Espresso and Old Olive linen thread. This is an online exclusive, 3 September. Old Olive and Early Espresso linen thread. Are you kidding me? And the other day, I made a double loop linen thread bow with it. And it works like linen thread. It's really good. But this one is just going to be a simple bow. And about like that. Maybe need it a little bit longer. I might need it a little longer. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger. Little bit bigger, little more tail. I'd rather have to cut a little bit of the tail off than have it look puny on my card front. Nobody likes a puny bow. That's kind of like Puny God. What is the movie reference? Come on, people. I know you know it. Puny God. Movie? Yes. Fort Collins. I went to school in Fort Collins. I grew up in Arvada and went to school in Fort Collins. Yes, I did. Long ago in a galaxy far, far away, back when if you drove from Arvada up to Fort Collins on, I think it's 285, that's the side road that parallels I-25, it used to be that you'd go through a little town and then there'd be a lot of open, and then you'd go through a little town and there'd be a lot of open. I believe now it's pretty much all town all the time. All right, so I'm going to put my bow right about here. And then that's going to put my sentiment right there. It looks perfect to me. Hulk. Nope, it had the Hulk in it, yes. What was the movie? One of the best movies ever made, in my humble opinion. Okay, yeah, you guys know. My opinion has never been humble. I'm just not that. That's just not me. Not how I roll. Okay, now, to adhere this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a double stack of dimensionals here, and then I'm going to put a single dimensional on the back of my sentiment, okay? Because we're going... Avengers! Yes, indeed. Avengers 1. The one, the only, the best, the original. The bestest, one of the bestest movies ever. Okay, so we got our double dimensionals going on right there. And we'll take the lid off. Take the lid off of this one. And let's see if we can get him on straight. Let's see if we can get him on straight, she says. Okay, And there we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck in some pine cones. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of the pine cone. And I'm going to tuck him, and I want him to go under that bough. So there he goes, under the boughs. I don't know, that pine cone just arbitrarily became a he. I'm not really sure why. I don't know. Could be a she. Could be a she cone, not a he cone. I don't know. And we're just going to stick these in. I had to take a work class years ago. Fort Collins have been there. Yeah. I haven't been to Fort Collins in a very long time. I know it's grown quite a bit since I was there. Quite a bit, quite a bit. But it was a nice place to go to school. I really always felt quite safe there. Again, don't know how it is now, but I'm sure it's still a nice spot. Okay. And then we're going to put a couple more in. Yeah, like I said, there's really no such thing as too many pine cones. You all are like, this was too many pine cones, Mare. Too many pine cones. No, you're wrong. Anybody who's saying that is wrong. But here's the dealio. If you don't like 5, put 3. Put 1. Put none. If you don't like pine cones, don't put any. I mean, you know, who am I to judge? All right, and here we go, just kind of sticking it under there. See why tweezers are so handy? So handy, so handy. There we go. Okay, and there's that. Now, here's another thing coming soon. Another thing coming soon in this suite, actually, is the faceted snowflakes, and these are gorgeously beautiful. You get 3 colors, clear, pretty peacock, and cherry cobbler, so perfect for Christmas. 2 sizes, large and small, and I am going to use quite a few of these cherry cobbler ones because I love them. I love them, I love them, I'll love them forever. Is only a snowflake away. I think you could also use the pretty peacock ones, but I just liked the pop of the color with these cherry cobblers. And then we're going to put another 3 down here. And we're almost done, y'all. Let's see, we'll go with another small one like that. Okay. Oh, a little too close. Right there. All right, and there is our card front ready to roll. Thank you, Delicate Pines. Okay, now let me clean off. I think I need to clean a stamp. I do need to clean a stamp because I have crumb cake on him, and I want different. So on the inside and on my envelope, I am going to stamp this large, pretty snowflake, and I'm going to stamp the big one in Cedar Ridge, other side of Colorado. On the other side of the mountains, or out, maybe out east or west, I'm guessing. All right, we're going to stamp like that, and then I'll do the same in the corner of our envelope. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp the innards. Thanks, Bonnie. I'm going to stamp the innards in Pretty Peacock. And we're going to see if I can get it lined up. All right. That looks pretty good right there. Okay, and then Pretty Peacock here. All right. Aren't those the most beautiful? I mean, we've had a lot of snowflakes in the past, but snowflakes made of pine cones, I am 100% in, y'all. 100% in on this one. All right. So we're going to adhere this to the inside of our crumb cake card base. Like so. And then we'll put some dimensionales and do our card front. Do-do, do-do, Do 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 do. Have you guys read the Martian book by, I think, Andy Weir, maybe? Andy somebody? It was really good. Its only problem was it was really fast. It was a really fast read, and I was done with it way before I wanted to be done with it. But I read it the first time after I saw the movie the first time. And I was like, yep, that was a good book. All right, there we go. And there's our card. And I did not cut a piece for my envelope flap, so let me get another piece of the one I wanted, because I didn't want to cut the one that I had. So here, we'll use this one. It doesn't really matter. You could use any of them, but I wanted one with pine cones. Okay, here we go. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Ooh, oh, that's cool, Joanna. Thank you for letting us know that, because I did enjoy. I will be looking for that book. In fact, I will go and look for it and see if I can get it like on my wish list or something. Because I did enjoy his writing style. All right. And here we go with the world's easiest fussy cut. I hope you guys have liked this card. I hope you're enjoying the sneak peeks. Less than 2 weeks, but if you can't wait, I'd urge you to sign up now. Put some of these pre-order items in your starter kit, and then get the rest of them with your 20% discount. 20% sale is a 20% sale. I'm just throwing that out there. All right, everybody. There you go. I appreciate you spending part of your weekend with me, and I hope you'll be back on Thursday. I do not know what we're going to make, but I'd hazard a guess it's going to be another sneaky peek. All right. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, y'all. See ya.